What sum compounded quarterly? What sum compounded quarterly? They asked to calculate the sum. Sum means principal. Quarterly amounted to rupees 5,000. The sum must amount rupees 5,000. Amount value is 5,000. They asked to calculate the sum. That sum compounded quarterly. Quarterly means you have to compound, means you have to calculate interest quarterly and add it to the principal. Interest calculated quarterly and added to the principal, that is called as compounded quarterly. Then anyone tell me quarterly means how many quarters are there in a year? Quarter means 3 months. Quarter means 3 months. Quarter means 1/4. Quarter means 1/4. 1/4 year. 1/4 year means 3 months. 3 months. So if you calculate interest every 3 months, then there are 4 quarters in a year. There are 4 quarters in a year, and if you calculate interest quarterly for 6 years, in a year there are 4 quarters, then they asked to calculate interest for 6 years. So for 6 years, how many quarters are there? In 6 years, how many quarters are there? That is the value of n. And rate of interest is 6% per annum. 6% is per annum interest. It is the nominal rate. And if you calculate the quarterly rate is to be calculated on the basis of nominal rate divided by number of quarters in a year. Number of quarters in a year. Therefore, there are 4 quarters in a year. On the basis of number of quarters, you convert the n value and rate of interest. You convert the n value and rate of interest. Okay. So you see here, they asked to calculate this sum. Therefore, calculate this sum. Therefore, p value is unknown. P value is unknown, not given. And amount is 5,000. Then rate of interest is nominal 6%. 6 divided by 4. If they ask to calculate interest quarterly, you divide by 4. If they ask to calculate interest half yearly, you divide by 2. If they ask to calculate interest monthly, you divide by 12. Okay, so 6 divided by 4 is equal to 1.5. 1.5. Then n is equal to 6 years. 6 years are there. In 6 years, how many quarters are there? How many quarters are there? So 6 into 4 is equal to 24 quarters. 24 quarters. Therefore, n value is 24. Then you apply the equation. A is equal to p into 1 plus r by 100 raised to n. So 5,000 is the p value, a value. Then p in the bracket 1 plus 1.5 divided by 100 raised to 24. Raised to 24. N is 24. Converted n is 24. Converted r is 1.5. Nominal r is 6. Nominal n is 6. Remember this. Okay. Now you simplify this. 5,000 is equal to p in the bracket 100 plus 1.5. If you calculate LCM, 100 plus 1.5 divided 100 raised to 24. So 5,000 is equal to p in the bracket 101 divided by 100 raised to 24. Okay, 101 divided by 100 raised to 24. In the next step, if you divide 1.5 divided by 100, its value is, then p in the bracket 1.015 raised to 24. Now you apply the log. You apply the log. Log 5000. Log 5000 is equal to log P plus 24 log 1.015. Okay. Then you apply the log. Log 5000 is equal to characteristic is 3. Its characteristic is 3 and 50 zero column 3.6990. You see the logarithm table. In the logarithm table, 3.6990 is the value, is equal to log P plus 24 in the bracket 1.015. 1.015 log in the logarithm table is 64. That is 10 is the natural number, 1 is the Mantissa column. In there, 43 is there. Plus mean difference 5 is 21. If you take the total, its value is 0.0024. 0024. In the next step, you take the product. 3.6990 is equal to log P plus 0.1536. If you multiply with 24, its value is, product is 0.1536. Okay. Then you take that 0.1536 to left hand side. 3.6990 minus 0.1536 is equal to log P. So log P is equal to, you subtract that value, its answer is 3.5454. 5454 is the log P. So P is equal to NT log of 3.5454. Then you see the NT log table. In the NT log table, 54 natural number column, 5 Mantissa column, then 4 mean difference column. And if you go through that, your value as per NT log table is P is equal to 3511. 3511. Okay, 3511. Then if you add it, if you put the decimal point, characteristic is 3. Therefore, you leave 4 digit. After 4 digit, you give the decimal point. Your point comes at 3511. Therefore, principal value is 3511. 3511 is the sum deposited. The sum value is 3500. In this way, you calculate the effective rate of interest. Apply the effective rate of interest in this way. And I'll tell you some clues. If they ask to calculate interest monthly, divide the rate by 12 and multiply n by 12. Okay. And if they ask to calculate interest quarterly, divide R by 4, multiply n by 4. Second one. And third is, if they ask to calculate interest half yearly, you divide R by 2 and multiply n by 2. This is the point you remember. Okay, this is for effective and nominal rate of interest. This is the theory part in connection with simple and compound interest. And the next part in this unit is depreciation. Next part in this chapter is depreciation. In your PUC class, in your PUC second year class, or in your PUC, you studied the depreciation. Okay, what is depreciation? Depreciation is the decrease in the value of asset due to wear and tear, obsolescence, passage of time. That is called as depreciation. Depreciation is a gradual decrease. Depreciation is the gradual decrease in the value of asset because of the use of asset, not accidentally. If the asset is used continuously or without use of that asset, if the value of asset decreases, if the value of asset decreases gradually, that gradual decrease in the value of asset is called as depreciation. Sudden depreciation is called as fluctuation. Sudden decrease or sudden increase is called as fluctuation, and gradual decrease is called as depreciation. Gradual increase is called as appreciation. Gradual decrease is called as depreciation. Gradual increase is called as appreciation. Okay. So this depreciation is applicable for the fixed assets. Depreciation is applicable for fixed asset. So you see the meaning of depreciation. What is depreciation? Depreciation is the loss caused to the value of fixed asset. It is loss caused to a fixed asset, such as building machinery, etc., by their constant use. Remember this. By the constant use of the asset, if the loss is caused to the value of fixed asset, that loss is called as depreciation. You remember this is for 2 marks. Okay. Depreciation. Depreciation is the loss caused in the value of fixed asset as such building, machinery, furniture, okay, plant. That loss is called as depreciation if that loss is caused by their constant use, not by accidental. Okay. So there are mainly two methods of depreciation. Common methods of depreciation are two. One is fixed installment method. Fixed installment method. The fixed installment method of depreciation. You studied it in your PUC second year class. Depreciation at the end of year is calculated at fixed percentage. Every year end depreciation is calculated at fixed percentage on the original cost of the asset. If the depreciation is calculated on the original cost of the asset at the end of every year, that method is called as fixed installment method. Fixed installment method. Under this method, the amount of depreciation is fixed amount of depreciation we deduct in the asset. The amount of depreciation is fixed because every year we calculate the depreciation on the same original value. On the same value we calculate fixed percentage. Therefore, annual depreciation is same. Annual depreciation is same. Okay, this is the point you remember. And for the calculation of fixed installment method of depreciation, we apply simple interest equation. We apply simple interest equation. In the interest, interest is added to principal to calculate amount. Interest is added to principal and we calculate amount. But in case of depreciation, interest is deducted in the principal. Interest is deducted in the principal to calculate the value of asset. Value of asset. Remember this. Okay. So interest is added to the principal in the interest chapter. In the depreciation chapter, depreciation is deducted. Depreciation is deducted in the purchase value of the asset. Original value of the asset. Depreciation is deducted. Okay. Therefore, in the interest, plus sign we use. In the interest, we use plus sign. In the depreciation, we use minus sign. We use minus sign. Remember this. Okay. We use minus sign. Clear? So fixed installment method of depreciation is equal to PNR divided by 100. The same simple interest equation we apply for calculating depreciation under fixed installment method. For fixed installment method of depreciation, interest is nothing but depreciation. Depreciation. Okay. P means principal in your interest method. In interest chapter, P is principal. But here we consider P is the purchase price, purchase value. P is the purchase value or original cost. P is the original cost. N is the number of years. N is the number of years used. The number of years asset used. Or for number of years, you calculate depreciation. N is the period for depreciation. N is the period for depreciation. Okay, rate means rate of depreciation. R is rate of depreciation divided by 100. Okay, for example, the purchase price of machinery is 10,000. Purchase price of machinery is 10,000. Rate of depreciation is 10%. Rate of depreciation is 10%. Then what is the depreciation for 5 years? Price of asset is 10,000. Rate of depreciation is 10%. Then depreciation you calculate for 5 years. So 10,000 into 5 into 10 divided by 100 is equal to 5,000. 5,000 is the amount of depreciation, and value at the end of 5 years is equal to depreciation P minus D. P minus D is the value after given period. In this way you calculate. So simple interest, remember my dear friends, you apply simple interest equation for calculating fixed installment depreciation. So value after certain period is equal to, value after given period is equal to principal minus D, depreciation charged. D means depreciation charged. Depreciation charge. Okay. This is the point you remember. Whatever equation you already studied, you slightly modify them. P means purchase or original cost. P is the purchase value or original cost of asset. N means number of years asset used. N is the number of years asset used. R is the rate of depreciation. Okay. Phi means value after certain period. Phi means value after certain period. And more number of problems will be asked on second method, that is diminishing balance method. Diminishing balance method of depreciation means depreciation at the end of each year is calculated at fixed rate percentage. Depreciation is calculated at the end of each year at a fixed percentage on the reducing value of the asset. reducing value of the asset every year, not on the original cost. Reducing value means after depreciation, whatever balance remains. On the balance value, we calculate depreciation at fixed percentage. On the balance value of asset, we calculate fixed percentage of depreciation. That is called as diminishing balance method. And every year amount of depreciation will not be same. The depreciation changes or decreases year by year. This is the point you remember. And for this we apply compound interest equation. Compound interest equation. Compound interest. Here I modified the equation. Phi is equal to value after given period. Value after given period. Phi means value after given period. P is equal to purchase price. Purchase price or original cost of asset. Original cost of asset is called as purchase price. 1 minus R. In your interest equation, 1 plus is there. 1 plus is there because we add interest. We add interest, but here depreciation is deducted. Depreciation is deducted. Therefore, here we use minus sign. 1 minus R by 100 raised to N. 1 minus R by 100 raised to N. Therefore, phi is equal to value after given period. Phi means value after given period. Then R is equal to rate of depreciation. Remember this, rate of depreciation. Therefore, depreciation is equal to, if you want to know the depreciation is equal to original cost of asset, that is purchase value, minus value after given period is called as depreciation. This is the point you remember relating to depreciation. There are two methods of depreciation. One is fixed installment method. Second is diminishing balance method. Okay.